Hello, hello, buongiorno a tutti. I'm Edgar Russ from Cremona, Italy, and I always say Cremona, Italy, because it's very important for you to understand that what I'm selling is made in Italy. So everything I'm doing here is created here in Cremona. And I talked about sound post, and you should just go in all the videos before. Slowly I will repeat a few subjects again, but there is one thing I've actually never talked about, and I think it is a very important ingredient to obtain an Italian sound. And it is I don't know how, but it turned out to become like this, but it is like quite a steady thing which have all Italian makers somehow not common. Everybody does it a little bit different way, but in a similar way. And I'm talking about the arching, okay, today. So I probably have to come closer with the camera in order they can show you what I'm talking about, okay? Now, this is now much better, the camera, and I really hope that you can see it better here. Now, what I'm talking about. I have all the tools here. I'm a pretty messy guy, even if you wouldn't think so. Anyhow, I put a lot of archings here, and you would say that it's just somehow a belly, apparently, because the way how it is raising the wood in the middle area and in the largest width here, and in the length, we call it in Italian la sesta, and then we call it the quinte because there are five. Cinque, quinte, uno, due, tre, quattro, cinque, the quinte, okay? And this is the sesta. It helps if you're talking about the sesta and the quinte because then you can train your eyes. So if you look at this arching, it's difficult to describe. So you have to get started to describe what you see. And in order to do that, you have to mentally try to make like a cut and then look at it. We have also some tools where you can see how the arching is going. Hold on, I have to look where it is so then I can show you. Okay, so we have actually this tool, which is a tool. You can take the shape of every arching or whatever. You can buy it in Home Depot. But so if you put this very slowly, so otherwise you get damaged your arching. And then you have here nicely drawn the shape of your arching. And this character of the shape of the arching is responsible for the Italian sound, okay? Now you would say impossible, but it's the type of arching plus the type of the thicknesses of a top or a back make that you obtain the Italian sound. It's also the model, but you know, Germans made it in one way and Italians in another. One part of the arching which I think is very Italian, and you have to pay attention to that, is these areas here. And that's where actually I believe the whole Italian sound is being made. Now this is a bag from a testore, so there is no purfling yet. This is the top of the testore, and you can also see that even the top, even if the arching is slightly different, it is in this area is very Italian, okay? It's like no arching in the corner, okay? So I try to take it away, and I'm very serious about these areas. Here there's still a little bit I want to take away before we scrape it. And here it is already some better. Yeah. And these ones certainly are already cleaned. And this is the copy of the high fats with all the holes in the purfling. But the arching is always the same, okay? In these areas. From the cesta, the top is always a little bit more full, and the back is a little bit more skinny in the upper and the area. But a German instrument, for instance, is much fuller in arching, okay? It is higher, and the higher arching makes a lot of too much stability, so it creates a beautiful sound, but not a big tone. Italians somehow figured out that if it's going up like this, it's always a going up, but it's in a very smooth way. So even if the arching is high, you don't really feel it that it's high, because the way how they did the arching is very important. Some just very lousy instruments, there's even the arching which goes into the corners, so it seems like blown up. And this is not very good for the sounding properties of your plates, and even for the sound and for the violin, yeah, because the instrument itself is in these areas, in these 4 areas, is a lot of ability to vibrate for the top and for the back, same thing, okay? You have to get used to it to see the arching and do it. Now, I will soon now fetch the book of Sacconi, where the lines of the arching are very nicely shown. Now, in order to show you what lines we're talking about, here we have a tool like this, yeah? It is just made by myself out of wood, and then you can put here a pencil, or from, in this case, an old IKEA pencil. And then you can just, by twisting, it goes up and down, and here it just touches. So you can take this here and you can trace a line. Now this one will be a line, a little bit boring line, so we go a little bit more in, it's like this, yeah? And then you can make here a line like this, okay? Like this. Now, what I think for a line like this here is that it's not going exactly parallel to the line here and then parallel like this, then it would be blown up arching. So I like it like this, okay? I make a circle a little bit more around so then you see it a little bit better. I never actually tried now to make this line here on this arching. I just made it by looking, but this is even more interesting in front of the camera to see the result of this arching, but actually it's a good one. It's a good one. So now, if you see, I hope you can see this one very good, this line. So it goes here and then immediately becomes wider and then goes back in. Now I go and fetch you the book of Sacconi, where he made a very nice drawing. For that time, probably there was somebody sitting and doing a great job in doing some very nice drawings, but the lines he signed up are actually wrong. If you would do it like this, like it is in the Sacconi book, the archings you obtain are not Italian. Hold on, I show you. Okay, so here, this is now the Sacconi book. The whole makers from Cremona were actually making instruments following this book. It was probably one of the first books ever being made to show what Stradivari did and that the things he did were not by chance. So this is actually a very good book. But mine is very old copy from '79. Now let me see, has been seen also very a lot here already. It got some water and everything, is an old copy here. And here you have these drawings of the arching. And this is something I actually never saw so good from the archings. Here we have it so nice. And maybe even the top wood, maybe we have it also. Yeah, here we have it so good. Yeah, so here, he made it a lot, very nice, very parallel all around, and even here closer than here. and this is actually not really the best way. So I prefer to go here and become larger and then go in again and then large and then go out, okay, like this, and not like this. Because in this area, you have to train a little bit your eye with these lines, which are actually nothing else than all these lines traced with this here. These archings are too full in these areas, okay? And you would not obtain an arching like this, how it is, and this makes the real Italian sound. Now, there's one more thing I actually have to explain you, that this is completely, exactly the truth for violin. For viola and for cello, things get a little bit different. So the bigger the instrument becomes, now here this is a viola, okay? The bigger the instrument becomes, the more you can allow yourself to make it a little bit fuller. So I try to make it a little bit fuller, but still to keep the character of an Italian arching, okay? And on a cello, I try to make this here, this areas here a little bit fuller. So if I show you now the next arching of a cello, you can already see that I keep things pretty full here. Now this is very roughly made, I still have to adjust it, but on a cello things can be a little bit thicker in the center part, okay? And but in the upper here a little bit thicker, but not exaggerating that it seems like blown up like a balloon, okay? So the bigger the instrument, the fuller can be the arching, and it still keeps on sounding very Italian. Sorry. And here this is the top. It's even more full. So we'll change it after the perfilling and everything. And especially on the cello, I try to keep it quite flat in the area where the bridge will stand in order that the bridge feet do not slip and open up too much. And I try to keep things left and right the same height exactly in order that it stands very nicely, okay? And on a violin, you can go down quite quick, but on a cello, I wouldn't do that, yeah? On a cello, I try to keep it quite flat where the bridge stands in order that the bridge feet don't spread too much. And sound-wise, it's also not bad to make a more stable arching on a cello. Always considering that in the upper areas, in these areas here, you maintain the Italian style, okay? Here on the Saint and Guarnieri, I make it very quick going down. It doesn't have a violin bridge, doesn't have the problem that the feet are spreading and enlarging up because it doesn't have so long feet. Yeah. I hope you liked this video and it was some new idea about what you have to pay attention on the instrument when choosing. Look at it, take your time, look the arching. You will see that a good arching is a good sign that the maker who did it knew what he's doing. Yeah, and that's why Guarnieri, even though he has such a big fame that he was a great party guy and whatever, even so he was very rough in working. When you look at his archings, you understand that there was a great master behind and he knew exactly what he was doing. Yeah, I believe that how you do anything, you do everything, and that is also for all the makers, for all the people out there, the same. So if you look at the arching, even if it is not that clean, but you can see there is a concept and there is an idea which somehow works, makes you understand if the instrument you have in your hand is worth it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Write your comments below, and as soon as I have time, I will double check it. If you want to get more information much quicker, then I would just recommend sign up on my Patreon page. With €3, you're already on board. With 9, you get some more information even quicker. And with 25, you're doing something really good. Hope to see you soon. All the best. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao.